Mmm. Delicious. Now, hello. How's everybody doing? We are on the Hypertrophy Odyssey chapter 30. Can't believe it. 30. I've made 30 of these videos already. I cannot believe it, honestly. Today, it is Quadzilla. I actually can do the Quadzilla day. Look at that. I completely forgot. It's been 3 weeks now since I couldn't do it. Since I named it, then I waited till the next week and then I didn't go. And now, finally, I get to actually say the name, Quadzilla. Thank God. It's the Tuesday lower body. We are actually going to a completely different gym today. We are going to the LA Fitness that is the Signature Club. So it is their top of the line one. And from what I could tell, yeah, it's pretty top of the line. It's pretty good. It's not the best. I think still the one over by my brother's house is still the best just because 6 squat racks in a row. I mean, I can't not say yes please to that. But this one, very good. The one thing that this one does have is the calf raise machine, which is immaculate. 10 out of 10. I would recommend anybody who trains calves in any way, shape, or form to use this machine or this style machine because immaculate is the only way to describe it. Magnificent, another way, but immaculate sounds even better. But anyways, I'm feeling pretty good today. We're a little sore, but nothing too crazy. Upper body's a little punished, but it'll be all right. I just got gas and I discovered the worst thing ever, which was a nail in a tire. So that's something added to the list of stuff I got to do randomly afterwards. After this, actually, the reason why I'm going to this one is because I'm going to meet up with my friend, shout out Walter, after this at a local mall. And we're gonna have lunch or something. Yeah, we are gonna have lunch. There is no or something. We're just gonna have lunch. We're gonna meet up there, and this LA Fitness is closer to that mall, so I'm like, all right, let me just go there. And I know it's a good club. I also know I'm gonna do a lower body day, so I'll have a chance to use that calf machine that I really do enjoy using. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this. We got a little bit of a drive today, so I'm gonna do a little bit more talking than normal. Although I might have to. This is another one where I have to save the title of Quadzilla another week because I actually have an entire discussion topic that I wanted to talk about today. So let's start with that. I was gonna go somewhere in the realm of science and science-based lifting and all that other stuff because I've been really watching a lot of science-based stuff recently, and it's like stuff that's highly critical of science-based stuff, which is, yeah, it's a whole niche within a niche that I was like, all right, this is interesting, but I don't want to get into all of that. That's, how do I say this? It's way above my pay grade. There you go. But let's just say that for now. Yeah, no, that deserves a whole video on its own where I actually have to sit down and discuss stuff. I can't just like go off the top of my head and discuss everything that would be relevant to that entire conversation because it's a lot of a conversation. There's so many layers and factors to it. So that is for another day, another dollar. But anyways, for today, I wanted to discuss something that was briefly touched upon yesterday's video, which was the diet is going well. And I think this is a good time to talk about diet tips. Yes, a very clickbaity title, but who cares? I want to actually discuss this because there are some things people, I guess, don't know about diets and stuff, you know, and it's interesting to hear the different, like, should I do this? Or should I only eat salads? You know, it's just kind of like, no, you know, it's just interesting. I think if you're in the market to lose weight, I think besides eating less naturally, which I personally cannot do, I think I've been fat for long enough in my life that my body just wants more food at all times, always. And I think while doing all the science stuff, I actually overheard one of the comments was that, yeah, once your body is fat, your fat cells kind of just stay there forever. So you're kind of screwed if you're fat as a teenager, which I was. So those types of things don't really ever go away. So fun stuff, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have to check myself every single time when I eat, and that's okay. I've kind of come to terms that I'm probably gonna have to track my food for the rest of my life, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal, especially with how things are nowadays. I don't really mind it. So speaking about that, tracking your food, I think that most people don't track when they're trying to do weight loss. I think one of the key things to do is track your food, regardless of whether it's homemade or what, or you go out. Try to track it to the best of the ability. Always overestimate by like 10 to 20%. I feel like people don't do it enough because they're afraid that they might get like an eating disorder or some weird thing where it's like, oh, they're gonna have to do it. It's like the only real way to know what you're eating is to just track it all, because nobody's gonna remember every single little thing that you eat. I mean, like, even me, who is very anal retentive about tracking all of their stuff, will occasionally forego like a sip of a Coke. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, that's like what, like 30 calories maybe, you know what I mean? Like, or like the bite of my wife's, you know, like food. Like, you know, I'm not gonna sit there and meticulously do that. But at the same time, there are people who do multiple little bites of things, and then that's when you realize, oh, okay, this is where the issues lie. I think that more of tracking a necessary evil in order to make sure that you're actually getting down, and getting down in an even pace too. That's another diet tip, is to not go in waves. So, for example, I personally, on Sundays is my day where I have like a cheat meal, or just have a meal where I don't really care, right? That is usually reserved for something that I've been craving all week, so then that way I'm kind of like whatever about it. But the thing is, I also now, because I've done it enough, realize that the one meal ended up becoming one day, which ended up becoming 2 days, and then 3 days. So I've realized now that the one meal, although it is just one meal that's like a good meal that I want, like let's say Popeye's chicken sandwich, it's not that, but let's just say that, I realized that like if I do something like that, it has to just that, and that's it. Like the rest of the day, if I eat again during that day, I have to go back to like the healthier foods, or like, you know, home cooked foods or something like that, because if not, it will snowball. And I think people, they underestimate the power that the junk food can have over them. And I think that is something that you need to be aware of, because it is a lot stronger, and that pull to want to eat junk food is a lot stronger than you could possibly imagine. I think that a lot of people underestimate it, so you got to be careful about those cheat meals. Also, with that being said, don't be afraid to live life. I think that's also like, you have to do like a really weird balance. So like after this, I'm gonna meet up with my friend and have lunch. I already know exactly what I'm gonna eat, because I've already done the calories for it for today and all that other stuff, which sounds slightly insane, but I'm also like, all right, I still want to do well enough on this diet, so I'm gonna slightly crazy on the calorie counting, so then that way I can stick to my goal, because right now it's going very well and I'm sticking to the mid-March goal, and it's on track, and I really just want to get it over with. But I also want to meet up with my friend and have a lunch at a mall, so I'm gonna have to get mall food, which isn't the best, but at the same time I can have something and also live life as a social being. So you got to be careful and pick your battles, basically, and don't go too overboard. Like, I'm not gonna like starve myself beforehand to make up for this later, or, you know, you could do that. I've done that before, and it wasn't the best of decisions. I can particularly remember one time, like last year, I starved myself all day in order to get ramen at night, and it was not a fun day. It was just like everything was very miserable. From like 2 p.m. to like 7 p.m. I was just miserable, because it was like I was just starving, and then when the food came, it was great, but then I was hungry still at the end, because I just hadn't eaten enough all day. So you got to be careful about certain things like that. Calorie exchange is not worth it. Speaking about calorie exchange, actually, here's another hack: sugar-free sauces. Now we'll say that just like non-sugar-free sauces now are like almost too sugary for me. They've gotten to the point where I've gotten used to sugar-free sauces, and I enjoy them a lot. I'd recommend at least trying some. They're better. They taste funky at first, just like every diet thing tastes funky at first, but after a while you kind of get used to it, and then after a while it becomes like the new standard of sugar-less stuff. So then when you go back, it's super sweet. Another example of this is the difference between Coke Zero and Coke. I like Coke Zero because it tastes like Coke. I hate Diet Coke personally, but I'll still drink it because it's 0 calories. But Coke Zero, going from that sweetness to regular Coke, is such a difference that like sometimes I'm like, it makes regular soda become like a dessert almost on its own, which is an interesting dynamic, which with the calories that it is basically a dessert. Let's be real here. I would recommend just sugar-free sauces, because that could be a little source where you could have a vast majority of calories that are just hidden that you don't even realize, and then all of a sudden, boom, like, you know what I mean, like you're down 200 calories by changing a sauce, and you didn't even do much, and that's like, that equates to like a pound in like a week, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the maths aren't there, but still, you get what I'm saying. That's another thing. And then the one that I think most people know, but I'm surprised that isn't more popular, or I guess maybe not many people know, is the entire, wrong sentence, potatoes versus rice. Get potatoes in the diet. Replace rice with potatoes and it is immaculate. Potatoes, the amount of potatoes to get like 400 calories versus 400 calories worth of rice is astonishing. Night and day. You can literally have an entire bowl of potatoes that will fill you for like hours and hours on end versus a little tiny bowl of rice that will keep you full for approximately like an hour and a half, maybe, and it depends too, because sometimes I've eaten those little bits of rice and be like, I want more, so it all just depends. That's another one that I'm like, all right, that's another diet tip. I have a few more diet tips, but we'll get to them when we get back into the car and then we go to the mall, because that'll be another little bit of a drive. But right now, I am at the gym and I will see you on the inside. All right, so before I continue on to the diet tips, here are the first set of the day with squats. Like this gym a lot. I have a bunch of stuff. Had to go down in weight, but that was because the weight that I was originally doing, 185, a little too much. Couldn't do it. But anyways, so I wanted to get back to the main subject at hand here, which is diet tips, because I have a bunch of tips for you guys that you might have heard of some of these, you might not have heard of some of these. So the first one, which I did not expect to be very much a thing personally, was putting on the grayscale mode in your phone, where it turns everything black and white basically. I used to use this for productivity reasons. So if you turn on grayscale mode, if you go on social media and stuff, putting it on grayscale mode will make it so the bright colors and stuff won't let you stay on it, and things will look duller and stuff like that. And I found that does actually happen to me personally, that it's just duller. I don't want to be on the phone as much, and like I just want to get back to colors. The offset of that has been that any commercial or any advertisement or any food related thing, it will be also in black and white, and it is not that great to see food in black and white. Honestly, it's kind of weird, and especially certain foods kind of look disgusting in black and white. So it's a very much makes food advertisements unappealing, so then that way you're not like tempted by something like chicken wings or something like that, because then you don't see the color, you just kind of see the actual chicken wing itself, and it's kind of weird. So I would recommend that as one thing. Also, it does help with productivity, because you do get less time on your phone because you don't want to deal with the black and white. It makes going from that to a desktop kind of weird, or just the regular world, because you're going from black and white to color. But that's one thing that I would say that is something that has been very helpful, and I'd recommend. As well as, I haven't done this personally, but there's an offshoot of it that has helped me, and that is fasting. I was watching a couple of videos about fat loss and weight diet and stuff, and one of the things that the guy said was that fasting would make total sense for people to do at least once or twice for like a full day fast, because one, nothing's gonna actually happen to you, but two, it is so people can understand the level of hunger that you'll have. So like, for example, for me, where it intersects with me is that I understand how and when I get hungry. I know at night I'm hungry, but it's whatever, I'm fine, I'm okay, I can live with it. The thing about it is that certain people aren't used to that hunger. I've gotten used to it because I just know that it's just what it is, but some people haven't gotten used to it. So a way to get used to that is to do a fast for a day, a full day, so that you can understand nothing's gonna really happen to you, you're gonna live, you're just gotta drink water, that's about it. But after doing that fast for a day, if you continue your diet and you feel the hunger kicking in and stuff, you'll understand naturally and intuitively that you're gonna be fine, you're not gonna be dying. A little bit of a stomach growl is not the end of the world. And I thought that was really good advice and made total sense. I've seen others also use fasts when muscle building as well, as a way to limit calories. So that way, let's say you eat extra on the days that you train versus the days that you don't train, you end up fasting. So that way you even out the calories as much as you can, and that way you're still in a deficit. You're not sacrificing the training. Like I am, for example, I'm just doing a deficit each day, but I did up it slightly because I wanted to make sure that I have the ability to do enough of a deficit, because I don't mind impacting my workouts, and I know I'm gonna have to go down in volume eventually a little bit, so I really don't mind doing that. Another two things that I would recommend personally, I've only used these a couple times, but one, and then the other I've used a lot now, is shirataki noodles, which are like, they're called miracle noodles. I find them at Whole Foods if you have one around you. They're like a plant-based noodle, has like the
equivalent of, I think it's like 20 calories for the entire pack, and you can just cook them up in any sauce that you want. You combine it with a sugar-free sauce and like a meat, like a lean meat, like chicken breast. You're looking like at a 400-calorie meal, and that will fill you up for at least hours. And it's great because it soaks up whatever flavor you use for your sauce. So interrupting this part because I needed to talk about this calf raise machine real quick. This is the calf raise machine I always talk about. If your gym has one of these or this style, use it. It is amazing. It is immaculate. I cannot tell you how great this machine is. I still feel this calf soreness from this machine, and it's been almost a week now. It is great. Would highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. It's probably the best calf machine I've ever used. It really does do the best job. All it is a calf raise machine. Would recommend it. 10 out of 10. Now back to the programming. I would recommend those. And recently I've been using rice cakes as my pre-workout meal. Rice cakes with cream cheese, because I used to do pita bread with cream cheese, but pita bread has too much calories. But the rice cakes have been a great replacement for it, and I would recommend it. Rice cakes, not for everybody, but I would recommend trying it. I mean, it's not the best, but you can combine it with so much, and especially if you get like the plain ones or the salt, like lightly salted ones, you'll be fine with the flavor, I feel like. And whatever else you put on it, like I put on like flavored cream cheese, like strawberry cream cheese or something like that, and it's so great. And it also is great for a snack and stuff. Another one that I would say is 5 or 6 go-to meals. So like 5 or 6 meals that you'll just kind of rotate in and out, that you can combine one after the other, that you'll just kind of repeat over and over and over again, that you know will kind of keep you full, but also make it so you're not too boring. So like you can rotate them between each other, but also will keep you full for enough of a time where you're not hungry for too long, and that you can kind of rotate them in between each other, and you can keep the weight loss going. Because that's the thing, it's like you'll find these 5 to 6 meals and just keep them rotated over and over and over again. And that's what I personally do, and I think they're great like that, because it kind of sucks after a little while. But with that being said, that's the other part that I need to say, and one of the more important lessons that I've learned in this cut, and that is diet breaks are key. The only way that you can really realistically lose all the weight is to section it out in different modes. So for example, you set an exact date or time of when the diet will end. So for me, it's mid-March, or when I get to 180, but it should be around mid-March for me. You have to make it so it's about, I think it's 8 to 12 weeks for your full cut, or that diet phase, and then go into a maintenance phase, or where you take a break for a little while. Because I found that if you don't take a break, you're more likely to get diet fatigue, which happened to me last year, and you're just gonna fall off the wagon and just start eating everything in sight. So I recommend getting used to doing diet breaks, or at least the idea of, okay, setting a time where I think you're not gonna really be dieting, you're gonna maintain for a little bit and then go back on a diet if you want to keep losing it. Because then that way it also lets your body recover and also maintain the level that you're at right now. That was also an issue I didn't do. So I personally went too hard on the diet at first, and then just kept it going and tried to keep it going for months and months and months on end. And then I kind of stalled out on progress because of that. And I'd recommend just being careful with stuff like that. You gotta watch out for stuff like that. Diet breaks are really, really, really useful on something like that. So just be aware for things like that, and you'll be ahead of the game when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. That's another thing about it too. It'll help you maintain the weight off, because your body will get used to the new weight that you're at. So that is something that you need to take into account as well.
It's not even an exit. Fuck. All right, hello, and we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed. None. Did everything, including the hip abduction, which was actually great because, you know, it's usually broken, so I actually got to do it today, which was nice, at the Signature Club. The only thing that wasn't nice is that I had to pay for parking right now. I had to pay $7 because I couldn't fit my workout into 2 hours. That's note 1. Note 2, my left earbud, I'm pretty sure, is busted. So that's going to be a fun little thing I'm going to have to deal with for a little while until it officially breaks. But it doesn't have the cash for a new one. So I'm going gonna just have to deal with it until I get a new one or get a job and can buy a new one or something to figure it out. Maybe a Christmas gift? No, I don't think so. Wait, Christmas is like 12 months away. What am I saying? Birthday gift? Maybe to myself. Who knows though? We'll have to wait and see. I have to also ask somebody else to test it out for me to make sure that it's not just me that has my hearings all messed up. So that's a whole other discussion. Hopefully it's not that fully, but I have already talked about a lot of the diet tips that I would have already had throughout the video, because I think that will be the subject for the main video. Right now, I just want to talk about my workout. It was great. There was a little bit of, I had to go down on the squats. I did not think it would be that hard, but it was just too tough. I could not do any more. I might show those in the workout and talk about it during, but yeah, those were tough, but everything else was good. I tried to squeeze it into the little bit of time frame that I had. I couldn't do it in less than 2 hours, but that's because I actually had a conversation with someone, met somebody nice. That was very interesting, very different. But you know, that's the reason why I'm not very much into the interactions at the gym, not because I'm an asshole or hate people or anything like that. I love talking to people. The only issue is that I have very limited time, and trying to squeeze it all into the limited time sucks. That's the only issue. Right now I'm already late to this meeting I'm about to have with Walter. I already had to delay it enough, so that was quite the time management collapse in skill. All right, call me. But anyway, with that being said, yeah, overall the workout was great. It was excellent. I had a good time. Mucinex man decided to come through every once in a while, which was super annoying, but whatever. They had trash cans, so that was nice. Besides that, like that gym, they had everything I needed, and then some. Would go again, probably will go again for an upper body day as well. I'm gonna have to go for multiple days. They have a lot of chest press, so I might mess around with one of those one of these days. So I'll have to. But those looked great, and they had a couple of chest supported row stuff, so it was very interesting. So I'm gonna have to check it out again. I really do like that gym. I'm just like, it's just kind of out of the way in order to go. So it's definitely one of the top ones in the area. What else can I say except for thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you on the next one. Peace.